the past 11 domains have given us a lot of the tools that we're going to put together in hacking web servers. Now you have a decision to make. What kind of web servers do you want to hack? I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, I want to hack them all. I want to do all the Linux and all the Windows and all the Nginx and everything else that's out there. No, pick one. Go back and say, what was my experience with setting up web servers? Did I do Linux servers? Did I do the LAMP project? Did I do Microsoft IIS? And what was my experience before? And use that to make your decision here. Or you could just be a click monkey and you could go and buy somebody else's tool and just run it against those websites and put the reports out and hand them to the clients and, well, I hope you're not that kind of person. So where are we? Well, we're hacking web servers, so we're trying to gain access. We're trying to do privilege escalation. We're trying to browse the system. These are all kind of looping in on each other, if you will. So we want to talk about the web server concept, client-server concept that goes along with it, and we're going to dig into Apache IIS and attacks against the web servers themselves. This is different than the modules that are going to come later where we actually talk about the web applications themselves and then the database behind the web application, that's the SQL injection. So all three of these domains all fit together really well. So this is a nice long section for you. You're going to have to do a lot of study outside of this and decisions you're going to have to make as to what kind of attacking you're going to do. So the top 4 web servers that are out there, these are the top 4 in no particular order: Apache, IIS, Google, and Nginx. We're going to talk about Apache and IIS. Google and Nginx are a special case. I think they're not relevant to us as certified ethical hackers, and they're also a different specialized set of skills when it comes to penetration testing against those. Okay, so let's talk generically how a web server works. The browser breaks that URL that's typed in by the client into 3 sections. The protocol, standard is HTTP. You don't even have to type it in anymore. The server name, www.website.com. And then the file name, webpage.html, or whatever it's going to be at that point. The only thing that we actually have to type in is a server name. The browser will append HTTP and assume that. If it's FTP and you've got it wrong, well, you're not going to get to the server because you're going to be going over the wrong port. If you don't put a file name on it, the web server is designed to say, what is my default page that I'm going to hand back to you, and it'll automatically redirect you to that page. You can be specific. You don't have to be. The browser communicates with a name server, which resolves the name server to an IP address. That gets all processed in the background and handed back to the client and re-resolved in the browser window. So remember, the browser forms the connection to the web server using its IP address on port 80. That's the default. If you were at the end of the fully qualified domain name to put a colon and change it to a different port, colon 8080 or whatever you wanted to, if the server's listening on that port, if it's open and the service is behind that, you will get access also there. And when you go and you look at your port numbers, remember that there are all sorts of administrative ports that are set up, like 8080 is the admin port that people use in a lot of cases to get to the administration of the web server remotely. Following the HTTP protocol, the browser sends the GET request. GET is your first thing. Get what? Default page. If it's GET and blank, well then it's going to fill in the default page. The server sends the HTML text from the web page to the browser. It's delivering the file. This is just a really fancy file server. And then the browser reads, renders the HTML tags and formats the page on the screen. Which version of HTML? Doesn't matter. The browser will communicate back and forth with the server and interpret that and then offer up. So this could be really specific. And I put this diagram up here because these are all the different architectures that are out there. Don't try and squint and look into them, but just realize that we can be really specific, and you're going to have to be general in what you do. Pick IIS or pick the Linux project, and then dig from there.